Hey there, welcome to Contracts and Chaos. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to tell you that you are not alone in the mayhem of this real estate industry.
We're keeping it real and sharing our stories, strategies, and successes in today's real estate world.
So come join us every Tuesday while we talk contracts and chaos.
This all
I'm
came
kind
up.
of excited about this one because honestly, I've had like 7 of these in the last 2 weeks.
I just got one. Today's Tuesday, Sunday. I was like, I had to think about this.
Oh my God, they're hustling on a Sunday?
On a
Stop
Sunday,
it.
on a listing that was only on the market since Friday.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. No, the ones that I'm getting, and we're talking about lowball investor offers today, you guys. The ones that I'm getting are on listings that have been sitting for a minute. But God, if I was gonna sell it for that much, I'd buy it, you know?
Right? Or like, did you pull the tax records to see what my clients bought it for 2 years ago?
Paid for it? Right. Yeah,
So,
let's do a little bit of research while you're researching.
Yes. So, yes, we're talking about how to triage a lowball offer because cash is king until it shows up with no due diligence, which is I think that's why, I'll be honest. Obviously, I put this into ChatGPT to give me more of a okay, what are the things? And I literally said, here's the things I'm thinking. Fill me in with the rest. But it pulled this because I had just asked it to help me write an email, a rebuttal to the offer, to politely say, "Are you crazy? No. What do you think? Fill it with facts." So I have a listing. It's been on the market 3 days. Not even. It hit the market Friday midday. I get an offer Sunday as I'm flying back from New York. Awesome. All cash. Now it's a $200,000 listing. They came in $20,000 under asking, which is only $3,000 more than my clients paid for it 2 or 3 years ago. No due diligence. So if you're outside of North Carolina or in a non-due diligence state, due diligence is similar to our earnest money, except we do due diligence and earnest. So the due diligence is a fee that you pay to do all of your inspections and stuff. They did want a due diligence
difference
period.
There is well, and the due diligence is paid directly to the seller here in North Carolina. It's paid directly to the seller. It's non-refundable, which is usually the biggest, oh my God, that I get with relocating clients and things like that. Because I think there's only 4 states in the entire country that has a due diligence period.
Yeah,
which is exactly, it's an inspection period, but we pay for the right to do those inspections. Is basically how that works.
And
but yeah, they're these cash offers do have a tendency of coming in way low with no due diligence, so they're risking nothing. The most recent one that I got, they wanted a 30-day inspection, a 30-day due diligence period, and a 45-day close, which defeats the whole purpose of we should be able to wrap this up pretty quickly. If I'm taking a low ball offer, I want to be done and out the door in 2 weeks.
Right.
That's what I want.
And this was a 1-week due diligence period, and then close 12 days after that. So a 3-week close. Pretty awesome, not awful, but no due diligence fee. Oh, and they were increasing the buyer agency compensation to be paid by the seller. I was just like, what are you thinking? 3 days on the market where the average is 25? I don't think. And I've had 9 showings with requests coming in daily. No.
It's too soon or something like that. But here's the thing, and this is why we're going to kind of break this down today, because there are instances where the seller is like, yes, take it off my hands.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to make this work, right? And it's easy. I feel like sometimes I get more offended than my clients, and I coach my clients not to be offended because an offer is an offer. It means that the marketing is getting out there, that people are seeing it, whether it's the right people or not. There's people looking at it, which I always like to see for my listings. But Yikes.
Yeah.
Like I
So,
said, if they were going to sign up for that, I would have bought it.
right. Well, or like if the average days on market is 25, just using not even round numbers, but easy numbers, and we've been on the market 75, then this might make more sense. But day and a half, 2 days in, no, honey, no. Read the
Well,
room.
I think, and we have a framework that we've concocted to go over today too. But there's also some client management that goes into this as well, not just offer management, but right now they see that listings are sitting, right? So when they get a lowball offer, they're like, oh my gosh, we're overpriced. Like, this is going to be the only thing that comes through, and they panic. I've experienced one of two things. They either panic and they're like, oh gosh, we have to sell it for this. We don't have a choice. Or they're like, absolutely not. Like, I'll pull it off the market first, you know?
Right. Because if it is, even if it has been sitting, if it's still stupid low, like this one, look at the records and you would know this is insultingly low because of what they paid for it 2 years ago. Like, come on. But yes, I agree. So, do we want to go over the framework?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
We're going to triage these offers, you guys. And don't pick on us, because this is like a grade school, like, you know, happy. And you just like write a word for each of the letters. We are going to triage these offers. So,
but think about it.
I think that it sets us up for success, though, to look at it, because it breaks it down into bite-sized pieces that you can either speak to your client about, or even in your own head, be like, I'm talking around in circles, but I've had sellers accept an offer that I didn't want them to accept. Right? Like me, I was like, no, we can do better. I can get you, just give me more time, right? Because this is not what I want or accept for an offer. But it met everything that they wanted or needed. And sometimes situations change. Like one specifically, they got a terrible, health diagnosis. They're like, we need to move this house yesterday. And I think they sold it too fast, too low, but they got exactly what they wanted out of it because it checked the box for them at that time. So I think having something like this will help you and your clients, because sometimes you can triage these offers enough to make it work. Sometimes these investors, and they don't even have to be investors, honestly. I've had offers from actual, like, gonna move into this house buyers that are just like, what?
Right. Yeah, this one that I got wasn't an investor. He's buying it for his kids to live in. Like, they're gonna live in it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I have a townhouse right now that's listed just over 200, and we got an offer at 160 because the HVAC is 15 years old.
Right.
Well, last time I checked, it doesn't cost $40,000 to put in an HVAC for 1,000 square foot townhouse. But that's besides the point. Okay, let's do this.
All right.
Triage. So we're breaking this down to letters. So T, we're talking about terms, right? And this isn't something that we're like, if it's less than 1% of the purchase or the asking price, then it's garbage, right? Terms have to be specific to your client, specific to the property, specific to how long you've been on the market. So much goes into this. We're talking due diligence fee, earnest money, timeline, what they're asking for commission. Do they want seller concessions? Like, all of those things. It's so much more than just the purchase price, because I have an offer, a listing that's under contract now, but the purchase price, my client was like, oh, okay, like, that's great. And I'm like, no, you have to look at all of these summary items that I've like listed out for you, right? Because they're asking for you to pay for a survey. They're asking for several different things that wound up, in addition to the seller concessions they were asking for, to be like $11,000, which is a lot, right? So you look at this big, pretty number, but minus out some of these terms that are money involved, and it's not what it appears on page number 1,
Exactly. And like, it could be that, like, so we want to identify like the weak parts. It could be that, okay, it is just the due diligence. Everything else on this is good, but you're not putting any money down. Like, why would I risk it? Why would I? Or, okay, the offer price is low and you want increased compensation for your agent. You get one or the other. Like, come on now. So
Yep.
I think that, to me, obviously it's a first step, but it's also probably, I'm not going to say it's the most important, but I do think it's going to be up there in the importance, because that's what's going to identify. You already know what your clients need, and this is going to identify if it fulfills those needs. And this is something I think as you're countering, you're going to continue to come back to triage. Okay. Or to T. This is the one that will be repetitive as you go back and forth.
Right.
So,
yeah.
the R in triage. The R in triage is reality check. So that's where we're going to look at the days on market, how many showings you've had, what's happening with your competition, what's happening with the similar properties. Like, are they moving? Are they dropping prices? Are they closing at a lower price? So you need to look at that to know how to leverage. Like, okay, if the average days on market for similar properties is 25 and we're sitting at 75, then maybe this is a solid offer. Maybe what the terms that we've identified do make sense or don't need to be adjusted as greatly, because what's really happening, not only with us, but with the market around us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this goes back to the offer that you just got, right? Like, you're brand new to the market. It's too soon to take something like that, right? Unless your seller was in such a pinch that they have to do something. This just gives you an opportunity to know. It's important for you to know your stats and know that information, so you can tell your seller with some confidence that, hey, I think you should wait this out, because the market is saying that on average, these properties are taking 25 to 30 days to get an offer. Yes, it's great that we got an offer in 3 days, but it's not the offer we want, right?
Right.
So, and then, going into that, after you go under contract, who knows what's going to happen with inspections and all that stuff. So you start super low, then it doesn't give you anywhere to go. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The incentives, I is incentives. So what are the plus sides of an offer like this, right? Like, what they need, time. I say cash usually can move pretty quickly, but what is the buyer looking for that maybe can be worked into the deal that's not a low purchase price? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, exactly.
They're like, oh, we're pricing it here because whatever, deferred maintenance, it needs this. We're afraid that the HVAC is too old. Okay, well, great. Let's counter them back way closer to our asking price and offer a $700 home warranty for a year. Right?
Yep. Or like, my clients, they originally were going to keep their washer and dryer. And when I was discussing with her yesterday, I was driving and I was like, I can't remember if they asked for the washer and dryer, but I'll double check. But if they did, are you okay with leaving it if we can get them to the price we want? That might be a thing, because originally maybe your sellers weren't going to leave the washer and dryer, but now they ended up under contract on new construction that includes a washer and dryer, so they don't need it. You know, it could be something as little as that.
Or they realize that it's a pain in the butt and they don't want to move it, and they need room in there.
Right.
They need room in that, moving truck or whatever.
Right.
So,
or the laundry at their new house is going to be on the second floor, and it's worth buying the new stuff and paying to have Lowe's deliver it and install it for you. Yes, absolutely.
Is that the truth? Yeah, I agree there.
A is for adjust. So you want to fine tune that counteroffer that protects the value, but it keeps the buyers engaged. So like ours, I'll be honest, ours was pretty firm because we were rather insulted over the weekend. But there were some things where I was like, I don't think we need to go hard on that. Like the closing timeline, it was pretty fast. So I asked my clients, like, are you okay with that? And they said, yeah, we're 90% boxed up anyway. It's really just our clothes and what we use day to day in the house. So yes, we can make that. So that wasn't something we played with. So maybe it is something,
Right. Some of these, I was just going to say, some of these are, I feel like you know that there's some like negotiation that can happen, right? I got an offer. It's an investor. It's a investor house, right? It needs a lot of work, but they came in less than 50% of our asking price. And I was like, that's
less
funny.
than 50?
Less than 50, right? So I'm like, there are some offers that you're going to get that there is just no like reviving that, right? No. So you say, no, thank you. That's right. Okay.
That's insult.
No,
That's
thank you.
horrible.
Received. No, thank you. But like you said, you don't want to just be like, oh my God, this is insulting. Like my clients would never. Hey, thank you for this thoughtfully crafted lowball offer. No. I'm just kidding. But thank you for this offer, right? After discussing with my client and reviewing the terms, we would actually be more comfortable if we could be XYZ. The timeline is fine. This is fine. These are the two little things, right? Two little things that my seller would like to adjust to move forward. Right?
Right. Well, that's like I was negotiating on yesterday that I have to get written up today. An off market, the seller reached out to me because I had the buyers because we bought property next door, and he came at us with one number. My client came back with another. He stuck with the original, but said, I'll pay all of the closing costs, both sides. My client was like, oh, okay. He said, the only thing I won't pay is your fee. Your client has to pay your fee. Mm-hmm. Okay, we can do that. Like that was the thing. It was like, because my client was looking at, okay, well, the costs are going to be so really. And when he came back with that, he's like, it's about the same out of pocket. So yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, and say some of them will pay your fee as the listing agent as well. Some of them will say that they're representing themselves, that they're not using a buyer's agent. So then that saves your client however much they were planning to pay a buyer's agent as well. So there's things to work around. The G, and this leads right into it, is to keep in mind the goals of your client, right? We had a couple of episodes ago, we talked about motivations for buyers and sellers, knowing where they're going, why they're going, what's important to them, because then we can circle back to ultimately where they need to be. So if it is important for them to have a quick timeline, like you said, like we need to move this property, maybe they do have to be a little bit more flexible on sale price, no due diligence, those kinds of things, which sucks. But depending on that situation, you can gauge what will work better for them.
Exactly. Yeah, because sometimes that goal is more important than a specific dollar amount. Sometimes it's we have an aging parent, we've got to get back home, or the job is making us move, we have to be there in 6 weeks. And we can't float 2 mortgages or mortgage and rent. Get it sold.
Say that one that I hated the offer, honestly, but it was like a 2.5 week close, all cash, and they were like, yes, and yes. Like, we'll be done. And
yeah, because
oh my God.
Because sometimes the cash is the king because you don't want to risk an appraisal. Or if it's a government-backed one, the appraisal saying you have to make repairs that you don't have the time or the money to do. Or recently I've seen lenders not doing their due diligence when approving people, and you get to a week before closing and the shit hits the fan. Sometimes it is that lack of potential stress is worth the lower money.
Yep.
It truly is.
I feel like that's why so many people go through Open Door or Mark Spain or like those, because it eliminates the fear of something falling apart. Yes. Right? Yep. So
the other thing, the E in triage, is end game, which is kind of similar to goals, but you want to keep sight of that big picture. And I think I just kind of referred to it. Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. You want to be able to close smoothly and on your terms. So again, if it's that we have to be at a new location in 6 weeks, or we just need the cash in hand because we just found out we have a major medical issue, so we're going to live with parents for a year. Okay, then those might be your terms, is we just need this done smoothly. We need this to fit what we have to have for end game, and that is worth it. But you need to, as you're walking through these offers with your clients, ensure that the offer you're looking at is doing all of that. So like you have to, like, again, just recap, like look at the terms. Do the terms fit the end game and the goal? Or what is what you're countering with and adjusting? Do those fit the end game and the goal? Okay, so that's triage, right? So terms, reality, incentives, adjust, goals, end game. That's what you want to look at when you get a lowball offer. So let's look at the numbers. Let's jump into that for a little bit. In our state. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to jump it. So if you want to jump in first,
go for it.
That's totally fine.
Nope, go for it.
So with these offers, the most common thing that I see in them is very little or no due diligence, right?
Yep.
And basically that's no risk up front. There's no skin in the game. And I say that because North Carolina, a buyer can walk away the day of closing, right? There's no timeline that the buyer can't walk away for any reason at all. But it's a little bit harder to walk away from money that was sitting on the table, right?
Right.
So if you have something that comes in, they're like, oh, we'll offer you $250 in due diligence and we want a 30-day inspection period. No, thank you, right? I just had one actually, and it was the buyer, and I felt like pretty good for due diligence, but it is a longer timeline because their property has to sell out of state, right? There is a higher risk involved with it. And the seller came back and actually asked for a higher due diligence amount. And my buyer was like, I don't really want to do that. And they're like, that seems like too much. And I was like, well, if I was the listing agent, I would do the same thing, right? Because here my clients are essentially off the market, right? It'll still say under contract show, but how many buyers are actually touring houses that are under contract right now?
I had a listing agent
Not
try to
very
tell
many.
me the other day that they've had lots of showings, even though we're under. I was like, okay.
I doubt it.
Sure.
I really do. I doubt it.
If there
right?
were, it wouldn't, the radon wouldn't have been so high because the door would be open and closed a lot, but good try.
That's too funny. But no, like, you have to understand where people are coming from. So they are like, yeah, we negotiated in the middle, right, of where they wanted, where we originally started. But now my buyers are like hardcore, like, we are selling our house. We are going to make this happen because they don't want to lose that few $1,000s that's now on the table that the seller gets to keep whether or not they make it through to closing.
Right. Exactly.
It changes the risk. It changes the commitment level in my mind, and I think in other people's minds too, because $250, $500, okay, sure, like, that stings a little bit, but $2,500?
That stings a lot.
That's
$2,500 plus all of your inspections and appraisal fees and all those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it stings a little bit more.
And I think also, like, another number you need to look at is like buyer agent compensation. So 2% versus 2.5 or 3, that really shifts like the net for the sellers. And so when, like in ours this week, when we countered, we did come off the purchase price a little bit, but we knocked theirs back down to our compensation, and knowing it was cash, those numbers almost match. So is my client netting about the same? Yes, but they feel better knowing, well, we took it off the price. We're not giving it to their agent. If they had the cash difference, and they can pay it, but that can shift things greatly. Like if the net number truly is important to your client, that half or full percentage could make a big difference. And that's a number you definitely need to look at and calculate. And if you don't have like a spreadsheet or something that shows what their approximate net is after the fees, after the compensation, all the things, you need to build one or go to elevatedagent.com and you can download one from her. It's beautiful. I use it all the time.
Yeah, that's a good one. The other thing is like proof of funds.
Yeah.
Proof of funds, pre-approval. Like, can we just make that a normal thing to include in our offers again? Because I've had to ask the last 3 offers I've gotten for something. One of them was dated from March that I got.
Well, this one, no proof of funds. So I pushed back. I was like, where's your money? Oh yeah,
Well,
he's
sometimes
gonna
with
get
investment
that.
offers, like you get this like weird letter that's just like, "Hey, so and so is definitely has way more money than they say they
Right, because they
do."
don't want to show their
And it's
balance,
like,
which is fine. It's just the bank
right.
saying, yes, they have this amount available. Totally cool.
Well, sometimes it's not even the bank. I get it on like their company letterhead.
Yeah, that makes
Like
sense.
a bank proof of funds is something that you're like, okay, right? It came from, Bank of America or whatever, like signed by the president of their branch. But when it's like on the company letterhead and says like, yes, we have access to this funds, I always chuckle a little bit.
Right.
Okay, cool. But
Right.
again, if they're offering due diligence and risking money and then they can't finance it because they lied about their proof of funds or pre-approval, I mean, that's not my problem.
Right.
Right?
Right. Exactly. So another thing like we should talk about, so we've gone over the numbers, is objections and rebuttals.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like often you hear, well, we don't do due diligence. Okay.
Yes,
Well,
I hear that from a lot from like investment companies. Oh, we don't offer due diligence.
okay.
Okay.
Well, two things are probably happening here. Another offer does offer it, or your price needs to reflect, like your offer price needs to reflect that certainty or buy, quote unquote, buy that certainty. Like something's going to adjust. If you're not offering due diligence, but you'd like a due diligence period, it's either going to be super short or your offer price needs to reflect the fact that you're serious about buying this house. That's
in
my
the timeline,
opinion anyway.
really. Because if you're like, we want like I said, a 3-week due diligence period and a 30-day close with zero due diligence, like that's the same timeline as somebody who's financing the property and offering me $1,500 for this $200,000 house.
And it's a solid, conventional, finance. Or if it is FHA or VA, I have no concerns about this property, so we're fine. Like, why do you... Yep. Cash is not always king, y'all. It is not always king. Which I think brings us to the next one. But it's all cash. Okay? The certainty in an all-cash offer comes from the terms and the money. It doesn't come from the fact that it's all cash. It's is it going to reach our overarching goal? Is it financially a solid offer? Does it get us to the end game that we're looking for? Timelines and stuff. Just because it's cash doesn't mean it's king. Not at all.
Right. Doesn't mean it's the best offer for sure. Right. I do think that, like we said earlier, cash does like eliminate for some people, like if they are worried about an FHA inspection or we are worried about hitting that appraisal price that are on our list price. But if we're talking a lowball offer, like we probably appraise for that anyways, right? Yep. It's just so important to keep an open mind and be able to speak confidently with your seller about why you think it is or isn't a good option and what you would change about it. Because that's what they're paying you for, is to be able to say, hey, these terms are bad. I hate this and this, but I would like, if it were me, I would suggest going back and seeing if they would do X, Y, Z.
Right. Exactly. Okay, or we need 2.5% buyer agent commission. Well,
we aren't even allowed to put that into an offer, are we?
Not in North Carolina. In South Carolina, it's a little different.
See, I need the universe, and by the universe I mean the country, to just get on board with, can we just get like, streamlined real estate rules across the country? I have a buyer that's moving here from New Jersey, and I gotta tell you, they're selling their house there, and it's nothing like here in North Carolina. They're under contract, but like they can also walk away from that contract, right? They don't love the terms. They're not great, but if they get another offer, they can like peace out to that first buyer and accept a different offer.
That's crazy. Or I have clients
during
in New York.
Like attorney review or something. The agent was trying to explain it to me, and I was like, yo, I thought due diligence was messed up, but I couldn't sleep. Like, I'm anxious just thinking about that.
I have clients in New York, right, who want to move here and wanted to write an offer last weekend, and I was like, stop. Your property's not on the market. How far out are we from getting that on the market? Well, we need at least to the end of the month.
I would put an offer here then.
Right. I said, we're not writing an offer here. Well, I mean, it would be contingent. So I said, no, this market, our closings are 30 to 45 days. So you would have to be closed in 30 in order, like, and you're not even on the market. What's your average days on market? Well, our agent's saying it would take 80 days to close. Wait, what?
Oh,
So I
my
called
goodness.
an
Yeah,
agent in their area.
we're not even going to start looking until April.
Right. Well, I was like, so I did the math and I said, guys, that's like a January 1st closing when I added it all up. So there's no way. It's the end of August. Not in this market. You guys need to get your shit together and get your house listed. And then we can once it's listed and I've talked to your agent and I know, okay, what we're doing to make it move, then yes, we can start looking again. But for now, your priority needs to be getting that house ready to sell. We're not looking at any other houses until your house is on the market. I'm really sorry. I know we found the perfect one, but you've got to do your part too. So,
it's only in their best interest too, because here again we have due diligence. So do you write an offer and get them under contract with $3,000 due diligence on the house that they love, and then they can't sell their house and then they lost that money because the seller won't extend their contract? Because here we have to have a date, right?
Right.
We are closing this number of days or this date.
Right.
And New Jersey's not like that apparently. So when I was like, hey, we're writing this offer, how are you looking? She's like, well, I mean, we're under contract, but it's so weird. I just wish we would all be on the same page, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, red flags.
Yes, red flags.
Let's talk about, and we just kind of mentioned one, no proof of funds. One that says that it is cash, but it's actually a hard money loan. That is different than cash. Keep a lookout for that. Unrealistic timelines. Again, like if you're talking about, oh, I want, a 20% off this list price, but I also want a 45-day close. That's what? No. Or that they're just like, we'll figure it out, right? It comes on a, what do they call, LOI, letter of intent, right? It's not an offer to purchase. Like, this is kind of how we roll. We need 10 to 25 days for an inspection, and we can close 7 to 10 days after that. Like, I hate that. I like certainty.
Yes, absolutely. Or the walk away lines, like the times of, okay, due diligence ends here. Or, like the earnest money is this. So if they walk away after, you have to make sure those protect your sellers. Like if they don't, that's a red flag. Mm-hmm. If they're like, oh, it's a 6-week due diligence period and we want to close 6 weeks after due diligence, but we're only giving you $1,000 in no, absolutely not.
Well, and also one last thing that I'll say before we wrap this up is if it is an investment offer, make sure you're reading any addendums or things like that they have added to the offer, because a lot of them say that they'll like circumvent or essentially ixnay certain parts of the actual offer to purchase contract here in North Carolina or any state, I assume, that basically says the parts that, they do get the earnest money after the due diligence period if they walk away. And then in their addendum, it says actually no.
Right.
No, we get that back. Right.
Especially if it's
just
a wholesaler. If it's an assignable contract, double check everything, because
let's just not even get into assignable contracts. Can we just agree to do that? Ew.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a sticky situation. Anyways, I hope that this was a little bit helpful. Again, triage those offers, you guys. Review the terms. Give the buyers a reality check, right? Like, hey, we have only been on the market 3 days, and the average is 25 here. We're not in a pinch to accept an offer. If we can meet and make these terms make sense for my seller, great. But at this point, we're not at a position to take an offer this low. Incentives. What can you do that will make that offer work for the buyer in the way that they're trying to do with price without undercutting your seller? Adjust, fine-tune the offer, all of those things. You have to be a little bit flexible in this market. This market is not as easy, or actually it was really hard in 2020, to be totally honest. It's just a different kind of hard.
Yes, this is a different hard.
Keep your seller's goals and the end game in mind, and then just Do your best. And no is a complete sentence. No, thank you.
No is
No,
a
thank you.
complete sentence. And it's okay to say no. I feel like so many times where like people have that fear of like one in the hand's worth two in the bush. And I'm like, but if the bird in the hand is toxic and has rabies, then we really don't want it. It's not.
Oh God.
Like it's not a good bird, so let it go. Like I think like people function from fear of what if we don't get another offer? We'll get another offer.
Right.
I'm not worried about that. So, and sometimes like it's
Yeah.
no makes people go, oh shit, they're serious, and they will come back with serious terms.
Well, and that's the other thing too. You're not owed a counter offer. That's one thing, and that we should do a whole nother episode on that, because I've said no thank you, and they're like, well, what's the counter? We don't have one. You're so far off base, we don't even have a counter for you.
Right.
No thank you. Right.
Which is honestly what I expected my clients to say, because they were so far off on this one, and they were like, nope, but here's what we're willing to do. And I was like, okay, cool.
Okay.
So, but yes, no is a complete sentence. Don't be afraid to say it, and come back to your triage when you need to. Otherwise, I think
we'll see you guys.
Yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys. We just finished another episode of Contracts and Chaos, but believe me, the chaos does not stop here. So check out the show notes for our email address and where to follow us on socials, and we will see you next week.